Hey, welcome. I'm Eugene. Today we're going to be doing a ride along. We're going to be taking something big and scary and just diving right into it and making it less scary. We're going to make our own home Active Directory lab environment. We're going to be installing Windows 2019 server. We're going to have a Windows 10 workstation, and we're going to install Active Directory domain services on the domain controller server. We're going to install and configure routing and DHCP. We're going to create a domain. We're going to add over 1,000 users to it quickly using a PowerShell script. We're going to break down from Josh Madakor and an online random name generator. All right, let's get started. Okay, so first, what you want to do, we're going to go download our materials. Our most important materials are we're going to download Windows Server 2019, the ISO. You can literally Google it and it'll take you right here. We're going to get the 64-bit edition. It's like 5 gigs. Also about 5 gigs, the Windows 10 installation media. We Google Windows 10 ISO and it takes us right to the Microsoft page. I'll put the links in the description, of course. And what we're going to use to actually run these is going to be VirtualBox. That's our host that we use. You download VirtualBox. It's a virtual machine host. It's going to automatically start downloading. I've already got it. It's fairly quick. Install that. And we're also going to add the VirtualBox extension pack so that it's a little more responsive and it's a lot easier for us to work with. Make sure you have space on your computer wherever you're hosting this external hard drive, your local hard drive. The two ISOs we need to install the versions of Windows, they both take about 5 gigs each, a little more, and then we actually have to start installing things, set up the operating system. These are going to take a good bit of space, as you'll see. A lot of times the default size is like 50 gigs. Per computer, so make sure you have some space. If you don't add a nice amount for it to perform well, it'll probably get stuck and then you'll have to start all over in the middle of whatever you're doing. So make sure beforehand you give it a nice bit of space. You have enough space on your hard drive. Okay, so I have VirtualBox open. We're gonna go ahead and click machine and start a new machine. You can see I already have a couple of VMs. Kali, which is amazing. It's got all kind of cybersecurity tools already built in. It's free. Um, let's go ahead and start this domain controller. I'm just gonna call it DC. You go ahead and install your ISO that you have in the location. You make sure you have it somewhere where you'll remember. We're not gonna do unattended access. We want to sit here and go through it manually. So let's go ahead and skip unattended installation and go ahead and move forward and add a nice bit of memory. I'll add another processor, whatever you think is good for you. The green is a safe amount for your computer. The orange and the red, try not to go in that direction. I'll put yeah, that's fine. This is how much space. We're going to do 50 gigs. Perfect. And looks good. Let's go ahead and power it up. Actually, timeout. We're going to look at some settings. Let's click settings. Let's change a couple things first. We want to go to advanced and enable drag and drop and clipboard. It makes it so much easier to work with the files between your local computer and your host machine. Press OK. And we want to storage audio. We want to add another network adapter. Internal. This NAT is the network address translation that happens between the real internet and our local network. And this internal network is going to be between our domain controller. This is our lab network for the devices in our lab. So we're going to add that, leave that. And I think we're good for now. We already updated our CPU, all that good stuff, right? Processor, yeah, we're good. Okay, let's start it up. Let's go. All right, here it comes. It's starting. Let's go ahead and make it a little bigger so we can see everything. All right, here we go. It begins. Choose your language and all that good stuff. Let's install. We are going to go ahead and do a standard edition desktop experience, aka with a screen, not command line. Great. Accept custom. That's exactly where we want to put it. 50 gigs. Great. We'll be back shortly because this takes a minute. All right, we're coming along. It just finished and we're going to restart. Let's see what happens now. Looking good. All right, we are back. We get to create a password for the built-in administrator account. We're going to use super secret password 1. Let's go ahead and type that again. Finalizing our settings. Yeah, here we go. We're going to hit input keyboard. We're not going to use our own Control-Alt-Delete for our computer. We're going to use this virtual machine's Control-Alt-Delete and type in the super secret password. Let's go. It's working. Super smooth. That was fairly quick. Let's go ahead and let everything load. Okay, awesome. We're back. We have our server manager running. We officially have our server up and running. There's no roles really installed. There's file and storage services, so we can make a file share if we want, and there's nobody to share it with. But so let's go ahead and we're gonna update the. Remember how we installed or downloaded the guest edition CD for VirtualBox? We're gonna go ahead and go to devices and optical drives. We're going to, where is it at? Oh, we don't even need to do that. Devices and then insert guest edition CD image. So it didn't ask any further questions. Sometimes it asks where it is on your computer. It found it. Okay, here's the CD drive. It's been mounted, the VirtualBox guest edition. So we're going to run this AMD 64 file right here. VBox Windows editions. Next. Okay, finished. Let's go ahead and reboot the server. It's not rebooting our machine, just the server. Beautiful. Insert or input, keyboard, Control-Alt-Delete, and sorry. Okay, so let me check my notes. Where are we at? I always have good notes. You don't want to have all this stuff memorized. It's taking up all your brain cells you can be using to remember Pokemon names or whatever you like to do. So let's go ahead and let's look at the network configuration on here. We're going to right click the network, the Ethernet icon, and go to Open Network and Internet Settings. And let's go to change adapter options. So we got 2 different Ethernet networks here, right? Let's go look at the status of this one. Details. This has an IP of 10.0.2.15. That looks like it's actually an address that's connected to the internet. What do we have here? Status, details. 169 bingo. This is a PIPA address. Automatic private IP addressing. This is when you can't find a DHCP server. This is for the one on the internal network that hasn't really been properly set up yet. So let's go ahead and just rename these so we know which one's which at first. For now, rename. Okay, and we're going to need to assign an IP at some point. So we have an IP scheme that we're using. We're going to be using the 172.16 network. So we're going to end up assigning an IP address that way. Let's go ahead and just properties, IP version 4 properties. You use the following address: 172.16 255.0.1 is what I have written down. And the subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Okay. We're not going to put a gateway because this is going to be the gateway. Usually you would, but it's going to be itself, and also the DNS server. Okay, and for the DNS server, we're just going to put the address of this machine, or you can use the loopback address, which points to itself on every computer, basically. Okay. Now, that's because this computer is going to use itself as a DNS server. So, we're going to we can rename this computer now. Advanced System Settings, computer name, change. We're going to call this DC. Got to restart after this. When it asks you if you want to restart, just go ahead and click OK. We're not in the middle of anything. We'll be right back shortly. Okay, log back in. Okay, so now our server's back online. Once Server Manager pops up, let's go ahead. We don't care about Windows Admin Center. Stop trying to make that cool. We're going to go ahead and add a role. We're going to add Active Directory. So let's go ahead. Next, role-based or feature-based. Yeah, we're going to add this feature, this role to this server. Yes. Let's go ahead and look for Active Directory Domain Services, ADDS. Remember that because that's a common interview question, and I've seen it written wrong in Microsoft documentation, CompTIA documentation, everything. That's it. Domain services. Next, install. All right. It's not very doesn't have a lot of alerts, but it does say configuration required, installation succeeded. So we can click close without interrupting the background task. And as you can see, there's an exclamation up here. There's something still going on. This is what it was telling us. There's still a couple things left. Post-deployment configuration. We have to go ahead and promote this to a domain controller by finishing the configuration required for ADDS. So we're going to create a new for us. There is no existing domainer for us. Let's just call this Mocha Machines. I love mochas. Let's do .com. All right, next. It's creating our forest. Exciting. You have to create this directory services restore mode password, which we'll probably never use. Hopefully, you don't blow up your lab environment that fast. It's going to be the DNS server. It's going to be the domain controller. Going to have the global catalog here. It's not read only. Great. Next. Okay, let's click next again. Okay, let's just keep clicking. Okay, let's click next again. Next, all good. These are great questions to know too about AD, where those things are located. Next, we're just gonna install this and then reboot. Keep nexting and then hit reboot. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and click install, and we're gonna restart the server. We'll be right back and log into the domain. Okay, and it's about finished. Let's go ahead and restart. It's coming back up. All right, so let's go ahead and log back in. Okay, we have our domain here, Mocha Machines Administrator. Let's go ahead and put password 1, default user, and let's log in. Let's let everything load up. Here come our roles. And here we have it. The roles have loaded. We now have Active Directory Domain Services and DNS. Let's go ahead and open up Active Directory, users and computers. Here we go. Now we can see we have our whole domain set up. We can go ahead and create a new organizational unit. Let's right click Mocha Machines, click new organizational unit. We're going to call this one admins. This is the group we're going to put our admins under. I'm going to uncheck this, makes it kind of annoying. And here we go. Let's go ahead and create a new user. Mocha admin. We're going to use first initial last name for the username. So M for Mocha admin. And I'll make a very creative password, password1. We're going to change this, has to change to the next login. And we're going to set it to where it doesn't expire. Next, finish. Awesome. Let's go ahead, and this person's in the admin group, but they don't actually have admin permission. We're going to look at the member of to see what groups they're a member of. So far, it's only domain users, right? We want them to be a domain admin so that they're officially an admin. We're going to go ahead and check name so I don't have to type the whole thing. Bam. Add, apply, okay. So now if you go back, Mocha admin is a member of domain admins. So now we're not just in the group, we're actually an administrator. Let's go ahead and just close out of everything, and we're going to sign in under our domain account. So Control Alt Delete, we're already signed out. Let's get back in there. Other user, Mocha admin, aka M Madman, and put in the password. All right, let's see. Okay, it's got a first and last name. We're in. So we're officially signed into the domain as an admin. Okay, now that server manager is back up, we're going to add another role so that we can start having some routing on this internal network. So let's go to manage, add roles and features. We're going to click next, role-based feature installation. Yes, this computer. Let's go ahead and do remote access. Click next, and we're going to have to click next. We're going to have to install one of the services for routing. Awesome. And that's going to automatically check the direct access and VPN RAS service. That's cool. Next. That should be good as well. Next. So let's install. Okay, awesome. And it's finished. Let's go ahead and close the wizard. Let it finish its background tasks. Get back to it. Actually, let's see what this is. Getting started. Looks like it might have finished. Okay, it finished itself. Okay, let's go to tools and routing and remote access. As you can see, the red down arrow, it's down right now. So we're going to have to go right click and enable, configure and enable routing and remote access. Let's click next. We're going to set up NAT to translate traffic. And right now I don't see our interface. Let's go ahead and give it a second and start it over. It might still be setting up in the background, even though it said it was finished. It happens. Routing and remote access, right click, configure, enable, next, NAT, and there we go. Here goes everything. So we want to select our public internet NIC and finish. Once it's finished, we should see that it's configured and it's up. There it is, green arrow, configured and up. Awesome. So now we got some routing going on. We're gonna go ahead and add DHCP. So let's go ahead and go to manage, add roles and features. You can click here or the one over here. And we're gonna go ahead, click next. Already in the right area, DHCP server, add features, next. We're just going to next our way through this one. It's pretty straightforward. All right, so it's finished. Let's close this. Okay, let's go ahead and here goes DHCP. It's installed. Let's go ahead and actually tools. Let's open it this way, DHCP. You can also see it's installed here. Alrighty. So here goes our DHCP console. This is where we manage our scopes. Here's our domain controller. IPv4, IPv6. This is where we set our scopes to help hosts automatically get IPs that are valid in the correct ranges. You can see that the scope, these DHCP is just down right now. It's not set up. It's not authorized. So we're going to have to set it up. Let's go ahead and start off by creating a new scope. So right click, new scope, next. We're going to name this after the range we're going to set up. 172.16.0.100 to 172.16.0.200. That's our name. So we're going to, that's what we were named after. 172.16.0.100 is the starting address. And 172.16.0.200 is the end of the range where you automatically get addressed. We're going to change the subnet mask to 24, aka 255.255.255.0. You can change it in either field and click next. We're not going to set up any exclusions or delay. And we can turn down the lease from 8 days. That's pretty long. You'll probably fill up your address pool pretty quickly with 8 days as the lease duration. So do we want to configure the DNS wins? Sure. Let's get that out of the way. Router, default gateway, we're going to set that up as the server. So let's see. We're going to set up the default gateway address that we had mentioned before. And add that as the router. We already installed routing. And next, the DNS server, it's already added. It's the same one. We're going to use this server. We're not really going to mess with wins. It's kind of old for NetBIOS. We don't care for this. And yeah, we're going to activate the scope right now. Finish. Let's see what happens. We're going to go ahead and refresh. Give it a minute. Refresh. Okay, so it's not coming out when I refresh. We may have to manually need to authorize. Let's try to authorize it. Refresh. Bam. Okay, IPv4 is up. So our DHCP scope is working. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go and we're going to allow internet access, like to the real internet, which you don't normally want to do on a server, but this is just our lab. I think we'll be fine. We're going to go to Internet Explorer, Enhanced Security Configuration here. We're going to just turn these off. Sometimes people use it, sometimes they don't. This makes it so that you can access the internet, but it is going to warn you every time you come in here like this. Are you sure? You sure you want to go to this page? But we need it on for now. So what we're going to do now that we have that turned on, we're actually going to go ahead and add several users that we've put into a text file using our PowerShell script. So to show our users what we actually did, you can go to this random name generator. I'm going to refresh and put the link in the description. All you do is you go tell it how many names you want. It'll literally create as many as you want, first and last names, and you click run. Random names of fake people, paste them into a text file called names, and it comes out looking smooth, just like this. So you go ahead and just add your name to the top of the list and save it. It come out looking awesome. So we're going to go ahead and open PowerShell ISE, right click, open as admin. Yes, we're sure. So make sure you remember where you had put your script. I put mine with everything else, with the ISOs and all that good stuff. We're going to grab the script. I have it on my local computer. I forgot to put it in the actual. You see how great that drag and drop that we put on helped us? We didn't have to email it to ourselves or nothing crazy, no USB drives. So let's go to the desktop folder. And we're going to run create users. We need to put the names file here. That's what that error means. Let me go ahead and copy names over as well. Drag and drop. I didn't like that. Okay, so I did a beautiful execution of the script, a beautiful breakdown of the script, and my mic was muted. So let's start this over. Basically, I can show you that the list of names which we copied over after restarting the, just closing the VM and opening it again, we didn't have to reboot anything. We got this list of names in the VM. We add our names to the top. You go into the script, what it actually does, if you go to edit, you can see that it creates a password 1 for everybody, and it grabs everybody's name, all the content from the names list that we have back here on the desktop, or wherever your script is located. It's in the same folder. It just checks that same folder. Converts the password to a string. Let's see. It takes off the protect from accidental deletion option, and it adds a folder called underscore users. So for every string in the list of names, it takes the string and separates it by a space. And the first word is the first name, the second word is the last name, 0 and 1. Out of 0, the first name, it'll take the first character of the string, and that'll be the initial, and it'll add that to the last name. So that's going to be the username, all lowercase. It'll create a username for each person as that'll store into that variable. It'll add the password, all of these attributes. It's going to enable it. Password doesn't expire. And let's see if we can make that go again. We're going to go ahead to the random name generator. Let's just refresh. We're going to grab like, wow, Leonidas. We're going to grab like 20 names. We're going to replace this. Save. And let's run the script again just to show that it works. PowerShell ISE. Right click, run as admin. Yes, we're sure. So let's go back to the path CD. Let's go back a couple folders. Slash, what's my username? Madman, Mocha admin slash desktop. List what's on here. Let's run the file. It's going to go through about 20 names. Beautiful. Finish. Close. Let's go check Active Directory. Oh, already got it open. Who was on the list? Leonidas. Let's see. L Wood. Leonidas Wood. So let's type LW. Or you know what? He's probably further down because he got added to the bottom. Let's go ahead and search. L Wood. See in here? Beautiful. Who is that? What's his first and last? Leonidas. Well, everybody got added. Isn't that amazing? Local machine / Elwood. The password is password 1. Awesome. Let's see. We should be pretty much finished with our server. Yeah, so let's go ahead and create our workstation. We are almost done. Okay, so we're opening VirtualBox again. Let's do a new machine, machine new. We're gonna call this the client one, like the network diagram said. We're gonna use our Windows 10 image that we downloaded. Skip the unattended access. We want to see this. We're gonna add a good bit of memory, CPUs. Let's add another CPU just in case, and that should be fine. Create a virtual disk, 50 gigs, sure. Next, finish. Let's go ahead and fire it up. Choose your language and time format and install. So we're going to click we don't have a product key. We'll handle this later. We're going to choose the version of Windows we want. We'll go ahead and choose Windows Pro x64. Accept the license. Custom, yeah, that looks like where we want to install it. 50 gig drive, and we'll be back after this. Okay, let's go ahead and choose our region. Choose our keyboard layout. And we're good on the keyboard layout. Second one. Okay, let's let the setup finish. Before it gets too late, let's hurry up. And I usually do this while it's shut down before I start it, but let's try to turn on the clipboard and the drag and drop. Make things easier for us. Cool. So at least next time we start the computer up, it'll be ready for us to drag and drop, copy paste from our local machine. Okay, we're going to set up for an organization. We're going to, instead of signing in with Microsoft, we're going to domain join instead. Oh, skip. Who's going to use this PC? Let's just make up Mocha. Super memorable password. This is what we wanted to do anyway. Sometimes it asks you to set up in different ways. I don't know how to control it. First pet's name, password 1. Obviously. What was the name of the city our parents met? They were out there in password 1, just, you know, passing the time. What was my childhood nickname? What did they call me when I was a kid? I bit my tongue. You know what that means. Password 1. All right, let's just go. Not now. We're not trying to do all this extra customization, but I will turn this off. Inking and typing, advertising, ID, tailored experiences. I always turn those 3 off. Just keep the ones that help your computer go smooth on, and I turn off all this other stuff off. Just skip. We're gonna skip. Yeah, here we go. Here's our what was that? Here's our workstation going. Let's go ahead and check out the NIC card. Is this on a network, or we're gonna open command prompt too? Okay, so let's see if we have any connectivity. IP config. What does this look like? We have an address, but it's on oh, I'm on the wrong network. Let's get out of here. And maybe I can just, you know, nah, let's shut it down. Don't go the short way. Let's go the long way. Let's go the real way. No shortcuts. We're supposed to set up the correct NIC. So let's go to the network settings, and we actually want to go to the internal network on this one. This is our VM network that connects to Active Directory rather than the one that goes out to the internet. We want to put this on our corporate network that we created. So let's go ahead and start it back up. All right, let's see what we got now. Yes. Oh my God, we're on the right network. We picked up a DHCP address. Hold on, that was quick. Um, let's log back into the server, see if we can locate that. Let's go to DHCP and look at the address pool. Oh, look, that's just the pool. Lisa's, ooh, the desktop. APDOSLJ. What is this? Host name. Host name. AP. That's this computer. It grabbed a lease. Amazing. So let's see. Can we rename this computer? First, can we reach the internet? Ooh. Oh my God, that was so smooth. I've had last time I had so many issues because of 1-0 I typed wrong. Let's go ahead and advance system settings. We're going to rename the computer to client 1 and add to mochamachines.com. Oh, I put a capital 1 unrecognized character for a computer name. Let's see. Oh, it needs an admin. We need an admin. That means it's connecting to the domain to get that account. And look at that. Beautiful. We're part of the domain. We're going to restart the computer and change the name so that we can log into our domain account. How cool is that? Got the DC in the background, and let's start it up. What a beautiful sight. Mocha, other user. Let's sign into the Mocha Machines domain. Let's sign into Madman. You know what? I had a username under my name. Let's log into my own name. Password should be password 1. Let's see if it can pull my first and last name. Oh, it's setting up my account. It found me. We have gone through and finished setting up our home Active Directory lab environment. We set up DHCP, we got DNS going, routing, we created a server, we created a client. Amazing. Not bad at all, right? Once you see it step by step. So we can use this in the future to set up other things like scans, but we have so many users in here. We've got a lot of good setup down. So things went fairly smooth, which is amazing. So thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed the ride along. I hope it helped you with something. Feel free to leave some comments or ideas. This is Eugene, and thanks for joining.